It's Friday night, and Smackdown's on. Yeah, I want you to hit that like button. Yeah, I want you to push that like button. I want you to push it into a ditch. I want you to push that like button into a ditch, fool. Sucker. Yeah! Hit that like button, baby. Daddy's live right now. Yeah! Daddy's live. Hit that like button. Look at MJF. He's going to be in Happy Gilmore, too. Is he going to be Shooter McGavin's son? Is he going to be Happy Gilmore's son? Is he going to be just another small hat in the background? I don't know. You tell me. Man, I'll tell you one thing. Tony Atlas, sometimes Tony Atlas talks too much in real life and he won't shut up and you're like, oh my God, you're a legend, Tony, but Jesus, Mr. Atlas, I gotta go. But I'll tell you what, you give that guy a microphone and tell him to talk about all this stuff. Can you imagine what the raw footage of Tony Atlas looks like from the other night? Can you imagine? Like, there are so many gems. He probably said so much crazy shit that they were afraid to put it all in there. Well, he abused the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like toys for us. I didn't like Pat Patterson because he used to grab my pecker. What? You heard me. He grabbed my pecker. Whatever. Like, I mean, bro, the guy was so full of so many takes. It's almost unbelievable, bro. We abused the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like toy for us. I like how they didn't fix it, by the way. Oh my God, dude. Like, look at the quote. They were like a toy for us. What does that mean? Tony freaking Atlas, baby. This guy probably said so much hilarious stuff that it's almost unbelievable. I mean, they really got to go back. I want to see the documentary. No, I don't want to see the documentary. I want to see the entire raw footage of Tony Atlas. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear, like, there's probably 5 hours of it. I want to hear 5 hours of Tony Atlas talking about whatever he said in this docuseries. Can you imagine the one-liners and the quotes that other things that he said? Well, there was this one woman in the secretary booth when I went up to sign my contract, and I remember I heard Vince McMahon was there, and I remember hearing him say something to her to the effect of, boy, I bet your vagina's nice. He said, boy, I bet your vajayjay's nice. And I thought, what? And I looked over and seen her, and she kind of smiled but didn't look in his face, and I knew she was kind of like uncomfortable. And Vince said, and I said to myself, I was like, oh boy, there he goes. There he go. There he go again. I mean, that's just the way it was. I mean, sometimes you look down at the ring and Pat Patterson would be sniffing up a ring boy's ass. And I thought, man, that guy's going to get hired probably. And the younger they were, the more they smiled, the more that I knew Pat Patterson they were going to get hired. And that's how, and then I found out later that boy did get hired. His name was Mike Chioda, or Don Chioda or something like that. Are you talking about, Tony, are you talking about the referee Mike Chioda? That's it. I seen him gobble giblets out of Pat Patterson's anus. I mean, like, there's like probably hours of this. There's probably hours of this somewhere. Like, seriously. Oh boy. But, so I want that to be released. I'm begging them to release. Please release Tony Atlas Uncensored from the docuseries. What's up, chat? How you guys doing? Smackdown's still going on. The signs are coming back. What's going on in the crowd? You see this? Bro, the signs are coming back. I'm looking out in the crowd right now on SmackDown, and I'm telling you, bro, are the signs coming back? Or is it just because they're showing so many? There's a lot of signs from what I'm looking at. But again, it might just be because, like, you know, they're zooming in on all the signs, man. Hey, man, the first thing you guys got to do is you got to click that like button and stick the thumb up my ass for me, okay, guys? Stick that thumb up there right now. What up, Eddie Guns? How you doing? Danny MT. Danny MT is here. What's up? Danny MT, you sex beast, bro. Listen, man, if you got questions, I will answer any question about anything, about anyone, or about anything. So bring it on tonight in the chat or super chat, donation, call the show, whatever. Like, however you want to communicate your question, however you want to say it, do it, phrase it, whatever. You guys know that you can do it with me at any point. I don't care what it's about, who it's about, wrestling-wise or not, or whatever. The world, it's all up for grabs, and we are live. We're watching SmackDown. Bailey's in the back with Naomi. Naomi wearing like an Uno glow shirt, which that looks terrible. But I mean, listen, I'm thinking as a guy, like yuck. That outfit stinks, man. It's smashing her womanhood into her sternum. Like, that's not cool. Is Naomi about to get attacked or something? I mean, like, what's going on, bro? I wish the camera would pan when someone in the background goes, "Hey, Naomi." I wish they pan quickly over to that person, then back to the shot instead of like just keeping it on Naomi. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's stupid. Maybe that's a good way to keep it. I don't know. But whatever, bro. What up, brother? What up, Danny MT? You dirt ball. What's up, you sex beast? Hey, listen, man. You bring it on, bro. You tell me whatever you want, Danny MT. You beast. Let me put the dono link up top for everybody. I know we got to get that going. Here comes Kevin Owens. Wow, it's already the main event time, man. This show has flown by. Not a lot has been, really learned in this one to me. I don't think we got a lot out of SmackDown tonight myself, but maybe you guys disagree. I don't know, but I didn't get a ton out of it. But here comes Kevin Owens to the ring. Look at the bricks on the side of the ring. That looks dirty. And look at that Habib in the front row trying to take a picture of Kevin Owens and the "We love you, Kevin Owens" sign. Look at that. Do they really love him, or do they just love the fact that their parents paid for that ticket? That SmackDown logo looks so weird with the big S and then Kevin Owens. I keep thinking Superman's coming out or something. Of course, I wrote on my logo up here, Smack ratings down, SmackDown ratings down. Get it? Sorry. I want the rear view JCS. What the hell does that mean? Alfredo, what's up? I hate the SmackDown logo. What the frig? Here comes Randy Orton now, too. Happy Gilmore too, yeah. So MJF, I don't know if he's playing Happy Gilmore's. The rumor is that he's playing Happy Gilmore's son. I don't know if that's true, but people want him to be Shooter McGavin's son. I don't know. Let me see. What's up, Chow? We're getting started early tonight, baby. Get them in here. Get them all in here. Get them in here. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. I've got AIDS. Get the likes up. Get the lights up. Let's get the lights up. Let's get the likes up. Get the likes up, baby. Bob Barker's not around. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, maybe we're lucky they can, I hope they can bring Bob Barker back with AI and have him be a ghost in a scene that shows up in the middle of the night. Imagine if Bob Barker showed up in the middle of the night to randomly have a scene where he haunts Happy Gilmore and they get the approval from his estate or whatever it is. And Bob Barker shows up and he goes, "Okay, Happy." And then he's like in a and he's in like a god heavenly outfit. And he's like, "I'm not here to hurt you or harm you, Happy. I'm here to tell you how I can help you." And Happy's like, "Oh my God, Bob Barker, you're going to help me from heaven?" And then Bob Barker's like, "Actually, Happy, I'm in hell. I'm in hell." And then his like eyeballs start bleeding and stuff like that. And then his two hands come out like claws and start choking Happy. And Happy wakes up in the middle of the night. He's like, "Ah!" And then someone else in the room or near him or whatever is like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I just had a goddamn nightmare about something. Nothing. I can't sleep." Something like that. And it's like a quick scene. It's like 5 seconds. Like the quickest scene ever. Oh, God, please give it to me. Come on, please get the approval from his estate. Listen, we want your dad. We want Bob to come back in the show, and he's going to be in hell. He's going to look like he's in heaven. He's got wings, all these things. And then suddenly he's in hell and he's a devil, but it's just a dream Happy Gilmore was having. And the scene's like 30 seconds. And these are just the ideas I have, guys. I don't know how much that would cost or whatever, but like, come on, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Hey, I hope you guys are making it happen. Click the like button. We're live. It's Friday night. We're live for a little bit. Let me put the dono link up there. There's the dono link pinned to the top of the chat if you guys want to donate or super chat. We're 60% less super chats this month than at any point in the last 7 years. So feel free to super chat if you want to. Otherwise, don't super chat. Hit the Streamlabs donation link at the top and use Streamlabs. Streamlabs helps better, but you can super chat if you want, whatever. Or just comment, like, whatever. Do all that shit that helps. That really helps. So fuck it. You want to do that for free, go for it. Appreciate it, guys. Or call the show 339-226-6610. We're watching a commercial for Dixie right now on SmackDown. That's not too fun. Not really enjoying that, but okay. Rest in peace, McGonagall. I know, right? What the hell? We didn't really talk about that. We should really talk about, what's her name? It's Maggie, right? What's her name? Maggie something? Maggie Smith. Yeah, bro, that's sad. I loved her. I didn't watch a lot of that Downton Abbey show or whatever, but, I mean, she was really good in that. Obviously, she was great in, I loved her in Hook. She was in several other shows and things, movies back in the day that were awesome. But obviously, she stands out from childhood, being in Harry Potter, being in Hook. Really, as a child, it was Hook, but there was other things that she was always in that I never realized when I was younger or whatever. But, obviously Hook, Harry Potter, stand out. But Downton Abbey was really good. I don't really watch that show, but it's a good show if you're a white person. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, Sister Act. I forgot about that too. She's great. Sister Act. Then she's in a whole bunch of other stuff, I think, that's like kind of more obscure or whatever. You have to be like really into certain things to get into a lot of the other stuff she's in, Like she's in a lot of lower budgets or like mid-tier stuff that you might maybe not know about. She's in a lot of stuff that's like woman type of shows, you know what I mean? Like just stuff that I wasn't my type of thing, but she was also in a good amount of stuff. She's just really great. And so rest in peace to Maggie Smith, man. Born in 1934. 1934, Maggie Smith. That's crazy. Wasn't she 90-something? Or is she 89? Is that true? Man, you know what? I thought she was older, to be honest. I mean, dude, you remember we were kids? I thought she was old when we were kids. I thought she was like 70 when I was a kid. I thought she was 70 when I was a kid, but she wasn't. Because she's like 90 now. So 90 now, take away 24, that's 80, 70, 66. Then a few more years she was in Titanic. Bro, she was like 60 years old in Titanic. 62 or something. She was 62 years old in Titanic. She looks like she's 75 in Titanic. She's somebody who kind of aged quickly, I feel like, but then like began not aging or something. Like she looked older for her age at 50 and 60, but then once she hit like 70 and 80, she just always looked 70 and didn't get much older than that. It's weird how she kind of changed throughout the years and looked, to be honest. So it is what it is, but you know, that's kind of what I feel about that. Oh shit, we got a super chat.
Let's go Poopsie.
Let's go Poopsie. Danny MT. Danny MT with the $4.99. Danny MT. Thank you, Danny. Holy Christ. What an OG Danny MT in the house. Look out. Thank you, Danny MT, man. Much appreciated, bro. Love you, dude. Shout out to you. Dying in the middle of a football season would make me so angry. Right? Dude, the Giants screwed me again the other night. That was just, nothing has been good this football season for me. We're picking up right where last year left off. I didn't do well last year. I'm not doing well right now. I don't know what the hell I have to do, but I know that the previous years were much better. I know that. Shout out to Biffy Boy and Joe Bishop. Much appreciated, man. What up, Danny MT? Thank you, Danny, for the dono, bro. Yep. Anybody, well, I don't know, man. We normally put people over 50, but anybody who goes $50 or over, I usually put on the board, so I'll put somebody on the board eventually, maybe. But what's up, man? SmackDown's still going on. The main event's here. You know, this main event took like, they started at like 9:33 is when Kevin Owens' music hit, and they said, here comes, it's main event time, and out came Kevin Owens, and I mean, this match just got underway just now. So from 9:33 to 9:43, 10 minutes, it was just entrances and people coming out and commercials happening. So the match is just now taking place at 9:44. So that's, I don't know, whatever you want to say. Giants suck. We need a good QB. I think the QB was all right. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what the problem is with the Giants. I feel like the running game, the Giants have a decent running game in a way, but they're just too, from what I could see the Giants had trouble with was they're too finessey. They're not tough enough. They're too finesse, right? And that goes for everybody. I think the quarterback is a little too finesse. I think the running backs are really too finesse. And so then you're left with kind of like a couple of guys to throw to who are also finesse. I don't think the Giants have enough bulldozer on their team from what I saw. So that's why the Giants have these good plays here or there, and they have these little cutesy things that go on. They look pretty good at times, and why they can have decent numbers too. Neighbor is more ballsy kind of, but even he got hurt in the game. I mean, Neighbor is a little bit softy too. So it's just they have all this finessey, softy play like just play action-y vibe to them. I don't know how to explain it, but they just like that. Even though Dallas has struggled, Dallas had more grit and physicality to me than the Giants. I mean, I don't know though. What do I know what I'm talking about? But I'm just saying, like, they just seemed a little bit, you know, shit bum, like bend.
What up, Joe?
Yo,
I haven't done this in a while, but here you go.
Thank you.
Decent SmackDown tonight, emo. Looking forward to Bad Blood.
'Cause now we got Bad Blood. Yes, Die from Maine. No, I'm just kidding. Dre from Maine with the 84.72 $5 shit bum. Thank you, Dre. Yeah, it's been okay, SmackDown. It's been all right. Again, it's like with WWE, my problem with WWE a lot of times now, going back to how it used to be, is that sometimes I just think it's too, like, it's just like you tune in and you go, oh, blah, okay. Like, it's a lot of the same situation all over again to me, and it's like, okay, they did well, and it's nice, and it's pretty good, and it's got some stuff to it, but it's just, it's missing something. One thing that WWE has been doing so well at is they really have done a good job of getting everybody is kind of over with the crowd, if that makes any sense. Like, everybody is like equally as over almost as each other. Wow, they broke both of those monitors into pieces. Both monitors are broken to the point where the circuit boards are out and they're malfunctioning. That's so funny, dude. The monitors both broke. And the pieces of the monitor are all over the place, and the motherboard or whatever, and the LCD screen or whatever. Look at them. Look at how they're broken. I don't think I've ever seen that or seen that in a long time where both the monitors break off and the green, like, motherboard, like, is busted open. Like, that looks crazy. What up, chat? How you guys doing, man? Click that like button and stick the thumb up my rectum. Because tonight we're talking about how Tony Atlas is burying everybody. Tony Atlas, I'm telling you guys, not to repeat myself since at the top of the show, but I want the Tony Atlas raw footage. Give me the raw footage, please. I am begging WWE to please give me, or not WWE, I'm begging Netflix, because WWE wouldn't do it. I'm begging Netflix. Please, Netflix, there's got to be like 5 hours of Tony Atlas. This guy doesn't shut up, and he don't give a shit about what he says. Like I'm serious, bro. We would abuse the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like a toy for us. Like, dude, I guarantee you that some of the men did not abuse women. I guarantee you that some of the men did not abuse women or did not act crazy to women or whatever. I guarantee that somebody, Tito Santana, somebody is out there looking at his comment here. We abused the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like a toy for us. Like, I guarantee. I guarantee, like, somebody is out there like, no, we didn't. What the fuck were you doing? I didn't do anything to women. What the shit are you talking about? Whatever Tony Atlas said is bullshit. Like, there's someone, like, there's got to be a couple of guys out there. They're going to be like, I don't know what he did or what Vince did and Pat Patterson and a couple other people, but I didn't do that. Like, there's got to be several guys in the WWE from back in the 1980s who are looking at this Tony Atlas comment. They're like, what the fuck did you do? I didn't do shit. They were like a toy for us. They were like a toy for us. And then there's the other stuff like, I'll go in the locker room, he grabbed my pecker. Pat Patterson grabbed my pecker. I didn't like it. Like, there's got to be like 4 hours of him just burying everybody. Because I feel like Tony Atlas's brain is like scrambled eggs. So he doesn't have the decorum, or not decorum, that's not the right word, actually. It's a bad word, or it's the wrong word to use. But like, he doesn't have the bullshit like in his brain like other people to like lie or to like be to sort of like be careful what he says. Like, Matt Hardy is really careful. Matt Hardy is like, I'll say this, I saw this and I saw that, and maybe these things did happen and maybe they didn't, I don't know, but here's what I saw and what I heard, and obviously there's an investigation, and we saw crazy stuff back in the day. Of course, like, some things happen and that none of us would be proud of maybe, or that aren't acceptable today and things like that. But Tony Atlas doesn't give a shit about beating around the bush and saying like, yeah, some things happened and they were doing things for sure, but whatever. He has none of that tact or whatever, or just the ability to cover it up. He's just fucking, his brains are mush. Like Tony Atlas's brains are scrambled eggs. So he's just like, I remember her, like, this guy touched a JJ in front of me. Like, he don't give a shit. Like, he might see somebody at a con Like, there'll be like a WrestleCon tomorrow, and he's be sitting next to that person in a booth. He don't give a shit. He'll be like, yeah, I remember that. I remember when Hurricane Helms would try to take, like, he had a Polaroid camera, and he'd try to take a picture of the girls, like, punani holes. And he would develop the film, and then he would cut out the hole and share it around and say, guess whose hole is that? And it was like a game to everybody. It was fucking crazy what we did. But yeah, that's what happened. Like, and then like the next day he's going to be sitting. Now, I'm making this all up. None of that is true. Obviously about Hurricane Helms. I'm sorry, Hurricane Helms, to use you as an example. He's probably like, don't ever fucking do that. I'm sorry, Hurricane. But obviously I'm joking. It's not real. But, then the next day he's going to sit next to the guy's table at a WrestleCon or something. And Hurricane's like, yo, what the fuck did you say? Like, whatever. He's like, well, you did it. I don't know it. I don't, like, I don't know, bro. Just, there's so much shit, dude. There could be like 5 hours of Tony Atlas just burying people. I was like, listen, they were all like a toy for us. Like, oh my God, bro. Listen, bless Tony Atlas's heart. I love Tony Atlas. Tony Atlas is the one who I was talking to that night when Bubba Ray wanted to kill me. I mean, Tony Atlas was like, hey, man, if you need help, let me know, man. I like Bubba, but hey, he can't be hurting you. You know, you might have to, he was like, tag me in, Joe. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, you're going to fight Bubba Ray for me? He was serious about it. He was kind of watching, like, because I had this great conversation with Tony Atlas, and I had known him from other shows. I had seen Tony Atlas several times, and he was like, hey. And he was so happy to see me, and I was happy to see him. And the only thing about it was I was like, I'm never going to get away from him because he just jab forever. And I'm like, well, Tony, man, anyway, dude, you want some water? Because I know the water just got here. And you guys are probably thirsty. You can't get up. You got to sign shit all day. I'll get you water, man. And he's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when I asked, Scott Hall if he wanted some water. And I was going to bring the water out to all the guys because, like, they couldn't get up. And I knew the water was there. And, I'm going to bring the water to my commentary booth. And that's when I said, yo, Bubba, you want some water? And he was like, get the fuck away from me. And I was like, whoa, shit. And that's when he was like, yeah, none of that shit you said online was fake. Or he was fucking with me. I don't know. I think he was serious, though. But, yeah, so Tony Atlas kind of had my back. He wasn't jumping in, but he was ready. He was kind of like, hey, man, hey. He was doing that sort of thing, And then Bubba was trying to yell at Tony like, this fucking, like, whatever. And Tony's like, oh, well, I don't know. So, like, that happened to me in front of Tony. So Tony should have learned, you got to be careful what you say about people. They were all sniffing them. We all treated them like fuck toys. Bless Tony. I mean, listen, put Tony Atlas. I want the 5-hour uncensored raw video. Put that up on Netflix. If you told me that if I increase my Netflix subscription by $5 more a month, and I would get the 4-hour raw footage of Tony Atlas just rambling, or even better, if they could edit the worst crazy things that he says and talked about, and they were to edit that together, Oh my God, dude, I would pay for that. Oh my God, would it be great? Give it to me for sure. 100%. Oh my goodness.
$9 for a fuck, so I'm getting hard, I got 9 inches inside of your wife. $9, I'm shooting my semen to the ceiling, I'm coming, and my balls have turned blue. $9, suck my dick.
Suck it. Go ahead and suck it.
I think Drake it's going to start this week or next weekend NFL season this year. It's so weird, too much penalties call, it's crazy.
Bro, what was going on last night with the flags? What the Christ was happening last night in that Giants and Dallas game? There was like 7,000 flags thrown. And the craziest thing about the flags last night was not only were there like flags thrown, but there was like 2 and 3 flags thrown at the same time. I am willing to bet you that last night was the top 5 most multi-flag throws ever in a football game, in an NFL football game. Top 5, somewhere in the top 5, could be number 1, top 5. Someone's got that stat somewhere. That's got to be a stat somewhere. Multiple flags thrown in one game. It's got to be a top 5. It was fucking crazy last night. Flag, flag, flag all at once. Double flag, flag, multiple flag, triple flag, multi-flags. Like, it was just flags flying everywhere. I don't know if it's because Dallas and Giants are such pieces of shit that, like, that was the way it was, or the referees were just crazy or something. Like, I don't know what was going on last night, dude, but it was ridiculous. Like, the flag was ridiculous. It was off the pages ridiculous. Like, it wasn't even close. I'm telling you, I think he was the top 5. I would bet it. Luis Urdaneta. Thank you, sir, for the $9 donation. You beast. Let's see here. SmackDown's still going on. This main event is still going on. Let's see. We're still rocking it on Smack. Here comes Cody Rhodes, and he's firing away. Cody Rhodes with a DDT, and he planted the head on Tama Tunga Luga Boo Boo Day. Randy Orton from behind. Cody distracted. RKO right in the dead. Oh, a super kick. A suicide dive. Samoan spike missed. Owens, stunner. I don't think he got all of it. Oh, Cody Rhodes was thrown in the ring, and he rolled the referee's ankle. Fatu threw Cody in the ring, and the official rolled his ankle. Super kick on Owens. Fatu. Jacob Fatu. 2 super kicks. Owens might have won. Sikoa covers. 1, 2, 3. It's it. The Bloodline picks up the victory. They stole one here on SmackDown. Well, it really is ridiculous that the Bloodline even needed to pin anyone. This should have been a disqualification. Did you see Cody Rhodes chop block the referee? He didn't chop block the referee. He was thrown into the referee on the outside by Jacob Fatu. That's ridiculous, Joe. You saw what it was. Cody saw they were in trouble. He dove in there and chop blocked the ref. See, look at this. Owens is fired up because he knows. He saw it too. He said, you ruined it. You ruined it. And now we're in the face. Owens, this thing's breaking down. And the Bloodline loves every second of it. These 3 men can't coexist because Cody Rhodes got selfish. That's ridiculous. That's the Bloodline stole one and Rhodes, and now Owens is hugging Rhodes. What a coward. I mean, I don't know. I wish that there was some funny commentary like that. But there you go. SmackDown's over, baby. We're going to talk more about Tony Atlas now because SmackDown's over, man. Luis Urdaneta, thank you for the $9 donation, man. Much appreciated. Luis Urdaneta, you the top dono, baby. You the top dono. I'm going to tickle you like a little baby, brother. I'm going to tickle you up. Baby. So let's go back to some more Tony Atlas. Well, we abused the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like a toy for us. Really, Tony Atlas? The women were like a toy for you? Yeah, we all abused the women. We abused the hell out of them. They were like a toy for us. Then we sat down with Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret, Tony Atlas admitted that you all treated women terrible, that they were like toys for you. I don't really know what the hell, I don't know what the hell Tony Atlas is talking about, but I know one thing. Bret the Hitman Hart never abused any women, any woman, any female in the back. I was always nothing more than respectful. Yeah, you had people like Hulk Hogan, the boy toy, and maybe a guy like Tony Atlas and Vince McMahon sniffing women and doing things. I never did a damn thing. So for the fact of the matter is, for him to throw me into that pile and say I did something to women, that never happened. He's a liar and he's a failure, and quite honestly, he's got brain damage. Bret Hart, some people would say that, you have brain damage, courtesy of Bill Goldberg. Well, the fact of the matter is Bill Goldberg is nothing more than a dangerous Jew. Whoa, Bret, wait a second. Bret, I don't think you want to say something like that, brother. I mean, that's a anti-Semitic that's a terrible thing to say. Well, here's the thing. If I'm going to wear a hat, I'm going to wear a baseball cap or a hockey helmet or something big. I'm not going to go walking around with a small hat because, quite honestly, the smaller the hat, the more anger and the smaller the brain. Okay, Bret, thank you for that. We're going to hang up on you now, Bret the Hitman Hart. Yikes. Bret the Hitman Hart there on Tony Atlas. Obviously, Tony has thrown a lot of people under the bus. Tony Atlas talking about Pat Patterson touching boys' peckers and touching his pecker in the locker room, and then, of course, that they all abused women in WWE. So, and obviously, Bret the Hitman Hart taking offense to that. I understand that, but, let's not go too far. Let's not go too far, Bret the Hitman Hart. Thank you to Danny MT for the $4.99. Danny MT, thank you. And Dre from Maine as well with the $5. Louis Urdaneta. SmackDown's over. MJF could be Happy Gilmore's son. Is MJF Happy Gilmore's son? He might be. Or is he Shooter McGavin's son? We don't know which one it is, but there is rumors that he's a major player's son in the new Happy Gilmore. What do you guys think about MJF? I thought he was just going to have some small goofy role and that's it. And okay, yeah, he's in the movie. That's cool, whatever. I could be in the movie. They're shooting it around here, I think. But whatever. But no, he could be in a major role. What do you guys think about that? Let's see. I think that MJF, I thought it was a small role. I admit I had no idea. I thought it was a tiny little role, but apparently it's a big role. So good, because he entertains me. I think that I'm excited for it. I just hope it's good, man. I hope it's at least like a lot of the other remakes that have been going on recently, where if it's at least a 7 out of 10, I'll accept it. Give me a little cutesy 7 out of 10 to go with Happy Gilmore, because I would rate Happy Gilmore probably an 8 out of 10 comedy. Maybe an 8.5 out of 10 comedy, somewhere in there. It's definitely maybe 8.5. It's a great comedy for me. It's a classic now. To me, Happy Gilmore felt like a classic right away. It felt like, yeah, this is going to be a classic. This is going to live forever. I don't know if it's living forever, though, to be honest. I think that it's a classic for all of us. For anybody who's seen it and 30 years old and older, it's definitely going to be something you may always go back to. I don't know if 20-year-olds and younger are going to, but I will say one thing about Happy Gilmore before we get more into SmackDown, MJF, AEW, WWE, and Vince McMahon and all that bullshit. I will say one thing. My son Gavin, he thought it was funny. He was laughing at it like, holy shit, this is funny. So my son thought it was really funny, and to this day, he's like, what was that movie again? And he doesn't want to watch it again with me, but he's like, what's that movie again? Because he wants to go look up clips from watching it with me the first time. And I have not watched a lot of movies with my son. He's 15, and we have not watched a lot of movies because he just doesn't want to watch movies. I don't know what the fuck it is, but we've watched all the Star Wars movies. We've watched one Star Trek. He doesn't really seem to like that. We've watched a couple of Harry Potters, and I've watched Happy Gilmore and a couple other things we watched half of and he left. He loves Attack on Titan, though. He loves that series, so I could watch that with him. But he liked Happy Gilmore, I think. I think I remember he looked up clips of it. But I also know my daughter loved it, too. My daughter likes Happy Gilmore. Like she's watched it twice with me. You know, and it's arguable about, like, her age is like, oh, it's a little close. But, like, because when Happy Gilmore came out, I was 12, I think. And I mean, like, so whatever. You know, my daughter's 10, and I mean, she sees worse stuff other places. So I'm like, I guess you can watch this. But she loves it. So I think if my daughter likes it and thinks it's really funny and wants to watch it again. So I feel like Happy Gilmore is kind of like, even though, when did What About Bob come out? What About Bob came out in like 1990 maybe? I feel like What About Bob is like 1991. When did Happy Gilmore come out? Happy Gilmore came out in 96. Yeah, so like Happy Gilmore was like, I was older. I was like 12 going, like maybe 13. But like What About Bob was like, I was like 7 years old. And I think What About Bob is more tame and stuff like that. But when I think back on, like, I loved going over my grandmother's house and watching. I would go over my grandmother's house, and my grandmother had, like, I don't know, 40 VHSs. That's it. She had 40 VHS tapes. That was it. You know, she had The Fugitive. Loved The Fugitive. I would watch that over her house. Batteries Included or whatever, not included, whatever that movie was. I watched that. What About Bob? I would watch that. I think she had Awakenings too, that movie Awakenings. I like that movie. What About Bob? And I would just watch all the same movies when I went over her house. I'd be like, oh, that's right, she's got all those. And I would put them in and watch them, and I didn't have them all, so I would be like, cool. I don't know why we didn't get them until I was older. I bought them on DVD, but like I was like, I should have had my mom get them because I liked them so much. But like, so, you know, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So I just go through all those. I was over grandma's house. And so I feel like, you know, my kids are like, put in Happy Gilmore, you know, put in Willy Wonka. I mean, Willy Wonka still holds up. That, like, amazingly, it still holds up, bro. Because people just love it. I mean, my daughter does like the Johnny Depp one too, but I'm like, how can you like this, man? I fucking hate that one. It drives me nuts, that one. Here comes a donation. My God. Here we go. Oh, no, it's still, my God.
It's Diddy. Diddy's coming to hell with me soon.
It's my wife's birthday this weekend, too. We're going to have a birthday bash for Leah. Oh, my God. I don't know if you guys heard that because I had the mute on. Wow. Just going to repeat. I'm attracted to Joe. I'm afraid to admit it. I will let D. Welsh get in the way. I want to ejaculate in Joe's nose while fingering his anus with cream cheese instead of baby oil as lubricant. I will swallow every drop of Joe. That is, listen, I'm just going to take that as a positive, okay? I'm going to say this because for the fact of the matter that
Come on out, you rapist!
That I, being the white guy that I am, could be attractive to Diddy. I'm just going to take it as listen, Justin Bieber is like the guy's number one like delicacy of whites. So listen, I'm going to take this as a positive thing because if I'm that hot to Diddy, I count that, bro. You know, he hasn't done anything to me and I wouldn't let him. That doesn't matter. The fact that I'm on the board, I'll take it.
Come on out, you rapist!
I will take it. Snarkbait, Brian, Guys, oh my God, Haystacks Monet just gifted 5 subs. RKO Kane, Jay is Savage, Snarkbait, and Brian all get memberships because of the man himself.
Haystacks Monet.
Did you guys enjoy Mercedes Monet talking about the Vince McMahon documentary? Almost as delicious as
Come on out, you rapist!
Tony Atlas. We abused the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like a toy for us. We abused the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like a toy for us. I'm sorry, bro. I cannot stop saying that. Go get that route in. Get that route in. I just can't say it.
You rapist!
They were like a toy for us. Can somebody please compile all of the Tony Atlas clips of him saying like, Pat Patterson touched my dick, like Pekka. Like so it's like you got Pat Patterson touching his pecker and he didn't like it. They're abusing women. I mean, like everybody's abusing everybody at that point. Like, you know, the female referees, the women, he's getting his pecker touched by Pat Patterson allegedly, and like the ring boys and everything else. And God knows what else Tony Atlas, you know, just basically it tells everybody about, you know, and doesn't give a crap because his brain is scrambled eggs. And he doesn't think, well, you know what? I probably shouldn't say these things because I got a Legends contract and they may decide to, you know, take it away. Or who knows what, I might piss somebody off. Even though Vince is gone, I still might make somebody mad. I don't know. I'm very scared. I should probably just be very vague with what I say. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that because I have no filter because I have CTE. You know what I mean? So I have CTE, so I just go, we abused the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like a toy for us. Pat Patterson was a dick grabber. I molested myself in front of Stephanie, and we all crazy whores in WWF. Fuck it. I'll just say it. Meanwhile, Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't believe in CTE. I just don't believe in it. You know, it's a bunch of bullshit. I love Tony. Like, is anything better than Stone Cold Steve Austin just like, I don't believe in CTE. F it. Like, I don't believe in it. You know, all the studies, all the brain scans, all the stuff that they do on CTE, Stone Cold's just like, bullshit. I don't believe in that shit. Austin's like, screw them. You know? I mean, like,
Come
bro.
on out, you rapist!
Jennifer Muppet Baby has
Become a member.
Jennifer Muppet Baby, thank you for becoming a member. What's up, Dave? How you doing? How Alex Cantu? We got Free Bird. Jennifer Muppet Baby also said something. Let's see what she said. Jennifer Muppet Baby says, anyone notice in the Vince documentary they briefly said his mom sexually abused him? There was incest in his family. What the F? Yeah, I mean, honestly, we've said that on this show. I've said this on this show for years. He's always indicated that he was molested by his mother. There's no direct proof or actual saying of it, but he basically alludes to it in a Playboy interview from back in the day. So this is old school news. It came up on the Howard Stern show as well. He was, we believe, molested by his mother and beaten by the stepdad. So he was beaten and you know, really crapped on by his stepdad or boyfriend of mother, and he was probably maybe molested by his mother. So that's all stuff that we've kind of known about, and so that was in the documentary. But I guess the documentary, in a way, did do a good job of exposing this to a lot of people who apparently didn't know about this or hadn't heard about these things. Like, a lot of people didn't know he was molested, potentially, by his mother. A lot of people didn't know about all the abuse and how he grew up. A lot of people didn't even know that he found his father and shit like that. They didn't know about that. And they really could have gone into that stuff elaborately, and they never did, which is bullshit, but they could have. A lot of people didn't know about a lot of things. They didn't know that he wanted to sleep with Stephanie and that have her baby. Like Vince McMahon hooked up with Stephanie and she got pregnant. People didn't know about that. I don't know how you could not know about that, to be honest. I mean, it's in multiple WWE DVDs. Prominently, it's in I believe the Mr. McMahon DVD, which is an amazing DVD that was bought by like like I don't know, like 8 million people or something bought that DVD. Maybe it's not that many, but like like it was like something like 3 million people bought that DVD. I don't know how many DVDs they sold, but I think they sold a shitload of that DVD. How many DVD sales for Mr. McMahon DVD WWE? I don't know if they're going to tell me how many it sold. Okay. I don't know. It doesn't tell me how many of the DVDs sold. But I want to say that they probably sold millions, according to this. According to this, they sold over 1 million. So I think they sold 3 million. But that's just me. Whatever. I'm just guessing. I don't know the real numbers. But the bottom line is millions of people literally heard from Stephanie's mouth, from Stephanie McMahon's mouth, that Vince wanted to impregnate her, and she said no to it. Now, years later, the funny thing is, I think on that DVD that Vince never admitted to it fully, I think, but nowadays on this Vince McMahon documentary, Vince McMahon is the one who tells everybody that I think there was a storyline where I slept with, she was going to have my kid or something. And she said no to it. And Vince says on the documentary that she said no to it. And Stephanie is asked about this. And Stephanie says, there's a couple of storylines I said no to. I'm not going to say what they were. Well, bitch, you already said it on the Mr. McMahon DVD. So Stephanie McMahon already said it, I believe. I think, now, if I'm wrong, fine. Now, I got it backwards, but I believe Stephanie is the one that brought it up on the Mr. McMahon DVD, and I believe that now Vince is the one who brings it up on the documentary. So it's funny, if you went to go grab the clip of her on the McMahon DVD talking about it, then cut to what she says in the documentary about it, I'm not going to say. Then cut to McMahon on the DVD not really wanting to say it. Now cut to the documentary where Vince is going to say it. So it's just funny how I guess it depends on when you catch them if they want to talk about it. So either way, a lot of people, I guess, didn't know about that, so you got that. But there's no better quote than this one, the Tony Atlas quote of, we abused the hell out of the women. All of us did. They were like a toy for us. I don't know where that clip is. I don't even remember him saying that on the DVD. But, I remember him saying a lot on the DVD that was cracking me up. But if somebody has the clip of that, boys, send me that. I would love. I have to find the clip of that to get the audio to that. To whatever. But, dude, that's why Vince McMahon is such an amazingly bizarre person and character and human being. Because think about this. It all makes sense. Listen, it all makes sense. I want you to listen to me really carefully about the psychology of this. Okay? Let's talk about the psychology of this. Vince McMahon grows up the first 12 years of his life not knowing he's a McMahon, not knowing his real father, not even knowing that his real father was going to come back into his life. He is molested, allegedly, potentially, by his mother, maybe. He is beaten and abused verbally by her and by her boyfriend or stepdad, where he is beaten. He is abused. He has to fight for things. He's pitted against his brothers, right? He is abused sexually, potentially, and physically abused, right? He then, at 12 years old, after all this abuse, everything is set in, he's now set in his ways. He's seen all this since childhood. That's when all the imprinting happens and all this stuff. So now Vince McMahon finds out his father is a mega successful wrestling promoter from the Northeast, and suddenly, his father is cold. His father is like, yes, I'm your dad, and I'm here to take you away. But I'm a cold guy who isn't going to hug you. I'm not going to say, good job, Vince. I'm not going to give you adulation. None of it. You've been craving it your whole life, and you got the opposite of it for 12 years. And now you found me, but I'm not going to give you that adulation. So you're going to always work to prove something to me, to get that adulation, and you're never going to get it until the very end. You're never going to get it in the meantime. And on top of that, I'm going to make you work, and you've got this dog-eat-dog mentality, survive. And what Vince McMahon is then going to do is slowly, because of the world, because of how you have to operate in real life, how you have to treat others, you have to operate cordially. You can't be a maniac to most people. So Vince has learned manners, and Vince has learned how to socially be with people who are normal and be around other people for the most part, like in a professional setting. He understands that. So everything else that he really wants to be or is or wants to come out of him because he grew up being it, taught it, abused, forced on it, is all becoming his shadow self. And if you don't know what a shadow self is, go look it up and study it. It's all in the background of Vince McMahon. There's a huge part of Vince that's like, take advantage of people. You know what I mean? Touch them. You know, they're yours to own and to dominate and you know, to do things with, and to really bully them down and to own them and control them. And then also, not his shadow self, his regular self has been trained to fight for everything, and you're going to have to kill somebody to own it, to take it over, to have it. So like there's the shadow self of Vince, which is over here cooking, and then there's the regular fighting spirit of Vince McMahon that's on the outside that everybody always sees all the time. So those two things combined make for a wild soup of a human being that is Vince McMahon. And that's what you really start to find out by watching this DVD and by learning about Vince McMahon's past and who he is and everything else. It's a sad story. It's fascinating. It's a triumphant story. It's a sad story. It's an interesting one, but it is one man for a psychologist's dream. I pray and beg for anybody who is a really good psychologist out there. Maybe we can get Jordan Peterson on this, because part of me, I wanted to be a psychologist kind of a little bit. I've always kind of wanted to be a psychologist or to be involved in that, in therapy, into bringing out things. And I really would want to do that, but I've never even really delved into it. But I do have, you can just look. I don't need to be told this by a psychologist. I don't need to be told this by anybody else. I haven't been told this by anybody else. I'm giving you my observations of Vince McMahon. My observations of what I've heard, the facts we know, and what we see are that all this. And if you, I'm telling you, go back for the last 10 minutes I've been talking and clip everything I've said about Vince McMahon and going to say and put it in a video together, it would be amazing. It all gets acted out by Vince in his private relationships with certain women, in his relationships with other men, with other workers, with his ability to want to dominate, with the idea of liking that he's intimidating people and that he's intimidation and that he has this control over people. And again, I'm not saying it like he's some really twisted, evil person. This is literally who he became because he was brought up this way. It's just a fact. And then acting out some of those things, because from what we understand, although Vince was harsh and he was a bit cold to his children at times, right? A bit harsh, a bit cold, but also loving and caring, because there's a part of Vince that was like, I don't ever want to be like my family growing up. You know, you can say what you want about Vince McMahon, but you know that Vince McMahon himself, there's a part of him, there's a real strong part of him that did not want his children hurt. He didn't want to hurt them. He wanted to love them. He wanted to give them maybe a childhood that he didn't get. So that is a huge part of Vince. But there's also a shadow self, like I told you about Vince, where he can't help but hold back Shane, hold back Stephanie. And I said this years ago, guys. I said this years ago, that Vince McMahon, his thoughts are, you want this company, you're going to have to kill me. You're going to have to pry it from my damn cold, dead hands. I made comments like that, just knowing Vince's personality of competition and how he but how he took it away from his father in a power move. You know what I mean? And what he did with it when he got it from his dad, and the way that he smartly got a hold of it from his father, who wanted to sell the company. It is unbelievable how he did it. And then it's proved when he says he wanted Shane to stab him to take it.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
Sup Joe, I got laid tonight, she had great tits.
Yeah.
When do you Luke is gonna get his cherry popped? I have to lay off the donations.
Oh no, please don't. We're out of money here. We need more donators. Oh God, Seabass the Beast. We are in some big trouble on this show. This is the most quiet donation month in a long time. We are 70% negative in the donos. So don't lay off the donation, Seabass. Go rob a bank for me, please. I'm in some trouble financially. Like, it's bad. It's rob a bank, Seabass. Please rob a bank. No, I'm glad you got laid, man. And I'm glad she was, yeah, baby. I like what you're saying. But, no, Seabass the Beast. Thank you, Seabass the Beast.
Seabass the Beast.
Yeah, so Vince McMahon, what a believable story. What an obvious story that Vince McMahon said, yeah, Shane, you want to take the company? Stab me in the heart with this fork. If you stab me in this fucking heart, you can have the company. I almost think that Shane should have done it. I almost think Shane should have stabbed him and grabbed him and pulled him in and said, Dad, don't make me kill you. What would have happened? What would have happened if Shane had stabbed Vince McMahon with that fork? Don't make me get a knife. Like, what would Vince do? Would Vince had called the police and it was all bullshit and Vince is full of shit? I don't know. I don't think so. Would Vince had, licked his wounds and then said, you know what? You had some balls to do that to me, Shane. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You're in charge of SmackDown. And if you can make SmackDown, if you don't kill SmackDown, I'll give you the damn company. Like something like that. Like, I almost could see that. I almost could see it. I think Vince was begging and pleading and dying for his children to just take it from me. Any way you can. I don't care how you take it. I don't care if you take it because you got money and you're so successful you can buy it off me. I don't care if you take it because you killed me. You take it. You have to take it from me. I believe that may be possible, that's how Vince was operating. And I've said that. I literally said this years ago on the show as a speculation before any of ever hearing any of this. And now this story comes out on the Vince McMahon documentary. Bro, talk about we nailed that. And honestly, Shane, I think you should have done that. You might have had to stab him. That's crazy. That is simply crazy. And to find that out, unbelievable. Hey, about
a great person.
It turns out that the rumors were damn true. Good God Almighty.
But guys, I need to ask you guys something right now. I really need your help. I really need you guys right now to please. Can you guys please do me a big favor? Can you guys please click that like button? I need you guys to click the like button. At the very least, show some spirit in this show. At the very least, show some spirit in this show if you're watching it. Everybody else has over 100 likes. Even shit bums doing 70 views are getting over 100 likes. We got 130 people. We've had 700 people in here tonight. For the love of God and all that's holy. If we can't fund the shows enough, to do shows anymore much, that's one thing. It's a hard time for a lot of people out there. But good Lord, please click the like button. We cannot be under 100 likes. That sucks. What the fuck are we doing? Unless I suck. Maybe I suck. I don't know. But good Lord. We've been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. 60 likes? What the fuck are we doing? What am I doing? Please click the like button. Good Lord. I feel Jesus Christ, hang me. Hang me, God. But no, I really appreciate the donos, man, and the likes, but we just need more of them. We need everybody to click that like button. I know they can. But SmackDown was all right-ish tonight. I think there could have been more done. I wish there was more done, but it was all right. I give SmackDown a 6 or 5 out of 10 tonight. I didn't love it. MJF is in Happy Gilmore too, apparently. I thought he just had a small little part. Apparently it could be the son of either Shooter McGavin or Happy Gilmore. I hope Shooter McGavin's in this prominently. I really do. Right? Who hasn't pressed the like button? Show yourselves. Exactly. Show your damn selves. Tony Atlas, is there anything you want to say, Tony Atlas? We abused the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like a toy for us. That is the craziest shit, bro. The fact that that's probably true, but the fact that there are so many other people that probably are like, yo, Tony, don't throw me in there with that. What the hell? Like, they're probably pissed at Tony Atlas. Don't be mad at Tony, though. He's got scrambled egg brains, And listen, that's some of the biggest stuff I got out of the documentary were Tony Atlas just throwing everybody into the bus, having CTE, and I loved it. And then then Stone Cold was like, I don't believe in CTE. That ain't a damn thing. Personally, I don't believe in it. Like Stone Cold, you don't believe in CTE? I got fucking Exhibit A right here. I got. I'm sorry, I love you, Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I got Exhibit A for CTE right here in the name of Tony Atlas. They were like a toy for us. And by the way, he's been like this for 20 years. Okay? Or 30 years. But he's worse now. But he's been like this forever. This ain't a new thing for Tony Atlas. Listen, I'm sorry. Listen, I don't give too much of a shit about CTE either. I think, regardless of CTE, people are going to do dumb or not. But listen, Tony Atlas... Maybe he just has I don't know what he has, but maybe he just has I don't know, but he's got something, bro. Jay Gibson in the chat, Cody's championship reign has been underwhelming. Yeah. Love Cody. He's been all right, but it's just not very, it's been a cruise control smile. Honestly, guys, I got to be honest. I think Shawn Michaels to me has had a better babyface reign than Cody Rhodes. And listen, I love Shawn Michaels. And I was cheering and crying as a kid. I'm telling you, I loved Shawn Michaels since I was 5 years old. And I loved him when he was a bad guy. And I was angry at people that were booing him. I would get in fights with other kids who were like, Shawn Michaels sucks or whatever. He's an asshole or whatever. And I'd be like, man, I love Shawn. What the fuck? Why don't people see how good he is? And I love the bad guy. Love Shawn Michaels. And so when he won the WWF Championship, the boyhood dream came true. WrestleMania 12. I think I was teared up as a kid. And I was jumping up and down. And that was the most I cheered for anybody other than Hulk Hogan. And obviously with Cody Rhodes, we did the same thing. I mean, I would argue that, for me, the biggest championship wins in WWE history where I popped and I was going crazy, they were Hulk Hogan multiple times, Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels felt like something even more special because I never thought Shawn could make it to being in Hulk Hogan's place. So it was so amazing for me, it blew my mind. And then Cody Rhodes, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14. And, I would actually, I got to be honest, I think Kofi Kingston's on that list too. Championship wins at WrestleMania where I just exploded this is awesome. Where I was loving it, exploding. Multiple Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, and then I think I'm trying to think of another one. After that, I think it might be Kofi Kingston. I mean, Daniel Bryan maybe too. Yeah, Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30, and then probably Kofi Kingston. Those are my, and then Cody. So I think that's my list. If I were to draw up a list of give me your when you really were marking out the most for somebody winning a championship or winning the WWF, the main championship at WrestleMania. It's got to be Hogan, HBK, Stone Cold, and then... Whoa. put the caller on hold real quickly. Caller, you're on hold. I'll get you on in a second. Hulk Hogan, HBK, Stone Cold, Daniel Bryan, and then Kofi. Maybe there's somebody I'm missing, and somebody can tell me if I'm missing it. But in order, those are the most exciting. Oh, let me get. I forgot Cody. Cody Rhodes. These were the most exciting. Like, I'm so happy for them. I'm popping. I'm going crazy. This is awesome. Like, these are them. These are them, right here. I think, yes, these are them. I mean, maybe I'm missing somebody else. I don't know. Somebody let me know what the Rey Fenix situation is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you're talking about. So feel free to enlighten me on that. And if you want to call the show, you can call back 339-226-6610. Let me know what you think. I didn't like John Cena, so I wasn't cheering for John Cena ever. I mean, I like John Cena now, and I enjoyed some of John Cena, and I think John Cena is one of the best entrances ever in wrestling, and I do like John Cena, but I did not like him at the time much. In fact, I loathed him. So, I mean, yeah, Rollins cashing in at Mania was pretty awesome, but I mean, maybe I could count that potentially, but I wasn't like cheering for Rollins. I wasn't like, yeah, I love Rollins. This is amazing. It was more like, holy shit, I can't believe this happened. So I guess maybe you could asterisk put that on the list, maybe. I don't know. Hey man, call the show back. I'll get you on. Sorry, bro. I've had a lot of coffee. I'm starting. I think I drank too much coffee. I'm starting to like panic attack. I gotta like calm down and get the coffee out of me.
In all that time, have I ever felt until last Sunday that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show?
The best part of the DOC, it's when Shane came back and walks with their sons in Mania and Vince give his the hug that Shane deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Luis Urdaneta, you could have really built the whole story about fathers and sons and dysfunctional families, and you really could have built this like all about Shane McMahon getting that hug from Vince McMahon at the end. You could have painted a whole story just around that. Like, it would have been crazy.
Shit bum.
Listen here, white boy. I'm a lot of things and I liar I ain't. We was banging white bitches, yellow gooks, and black hoes morning till night.
Oh my God.
Hell son, she eat. Me and Warlord
Oh
raped
my
Linda
God.
McMahon right in front of Vince.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Good Lord, Tony Atlas, what are you saying? Tony Atlas, you disgusting bastard. Guys, we still don't have 100 likes. Guys, we still don't have 100 likes. Like, this is crazy. Jennifer Muppet Baby said, did you pop for Ultimate Warrior? I didn't, because I was a Hogan fan more, and I actually was 6 years old. I think I cried. I'm not kidding. I think I cried because I was 6 years old and I was mad. I was a Warrior fan. I did like the Ultimate Warrior. I was a fan of Warrior, but I was not happy that they were wrestling each other. And I was kind of like, well, I love Warrior, but man, this is such a mistake for you to wrestle Hulk Hogan, and you shouldn't be doing this, and I'm not happy about it. And I like you, Warrior, but nah, man, nobody can beat Hulk Hogan, so you're done. And then when Warrior won, I was crying. I was 6 years old. That was the 6-year-old meltdown of like, how could Hulk Hogan lose? I'd never seen Hogan lose. I think I saw him lose unfairly to The Undertaker once, but I never saw that. I saw pictures of The Undertaker beat Hogan, and I saw a replay of it, but at the time I had maybe missed wrestling for 3 months, and I did not know that Hogan had been beaten by The Undertaker and Ric Flair or whatever at that time. I knew about it later, but at the time I didn't realize it. And then and maybe I was older or something and I wasn't going to be sad about it, but like I was upset. Put it that way. I was angry about that. So no, I was not happy that the Warrior won. I did not pop. But I was upset. I was a puss 6-year-old who was upset. But yeah. I don't know. We can't get 100 likes. We cannot get 100 likes. Ah, boy. I don't know. Tony Khan will add injury time to his contract to block Lucha Brother WWE bound. Yeah, Tony Khan's probably playing hardball and pissed. I told you this. Tony Khan has to be sick of people like using his company or like crapping on his company, right? And I'm not saying that they shouldn't or that Tony Khan has the right to just whatever, but he does. But dude, Tony Khan has hired, how many people has Tony Khan hired that either talked crap about him, told people they weren't happy, turned their backs? Like I'm not saying that they can't do that and they're not allowed to give their opinions like he owns them or something, but in his opinion, he kind of does. He's probably butthurt. He's probably angry, like any promoter who wants to promote. And especially with with ego, and of course, but not even ego, just with like, man, this is my company. And like Ric Flair crapped on the company right away. Other people have done it. There's just, I don't even want to go into it. There's hundreds of examples of people crapping on the company. And when they're there, when they just get there, when they're on their way out. And Tony Khan is got this kind of F you attitude now of, oh yeah, you're going to leave? Sit down. You know what I mean? Oh, you're going to leave? I'm going to do this. Oh man, this guy's going to do that. I'm going to keep him off TV now. Because like you're embarrassing the company. Like and you're making it worse. Tony Khan is hurt many things about the company have been hurt, whether that's wrong, right, or real or whatever. There's been a lot of damage done. And while damage is going on and people are crapping on certain things, you got other wrestlers coming out and making it worse. And Tony Khan's paying them. So think of how insulting it's got to be to Tony Khan that you're paying people or that you just paid them or you're paying them now, and you're trying to make people like love your company again and like it a lot and take it seriously and all these things. And you have these other people constantly undermining everything. He's going to get pissed. I'm not saying that it's right, wrong, or whatever, but Tony Khan, if you have any kind of man, you're going to be like, fuck you. Sit on the sidelines. I get it. You can call it petty or bitter or whatever, but I mean, I get it. He's mad. He's doing what's the only thing he can do? He can only do what he can do. And maybe it makes him look worse for doing it. By the way, Tony Atlas, thank you for donating, man. $5 came in from Mr. Tony Atlas. Thank you, Tony Atlas. I appreciate it, bro. Matt Hardy had some things to say a little bit, which I found were interesting earlier today. I'm trying to pull it up for you because there's a little bit of a clip here. Matt Hardy did a little talk about this. I'm going to clip some of this and go over it at a later time. But in the meantime, I have, let's see if we can find it, because I thought it was some interesting stuff, if I can find this. Let's see. Let's see.
I feel like I've ever met is Paul Heyman. You see some of that stuff from that ECW doc when
Vince McMahon.
This was on Matt Hardy's YouTube channel earlier today. Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, episode 143. It's really good.
Just remember Vince McMahon as he was out there interviewing guys and doing commentary. That's around the time that I started watching regularly. So I had no idea, that he was the owner of the company in the beginning when I just started.
A lot of people didn't. I love that Matt brought that up because I had no idea either. I did not know that Vince McMahon owned the company until I was like, I don't think I knew that Vince McMahon owned the company until around the Brett screwed Brett stuff. That was when I found out Vince owned the company. Around Brett screwed Brett, and I was like, what? This guy owns the company? I had no idea. Or it was around when Brett shoved Vince McMahon that time, because that's when I started reading the dirt sheets and stuff around 96 or so. And when the dirt sheets would talk about Vince being the owner, I was like, what? And I looked it up. We had the internet then finally, and I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, the announcer, Vince McMahon, is the guy who owns this company? What? And then I looked up in the McMahons and I realized everything. I didn't know though. So Matt Hardy's
started watching. Obviously, they didn't make a big deal out of it. That wasn't like.
You were familiar with Dallas. You were familiar with Memphis. You're familiar with.
Let's fast forward to the part I was looking for.
A bad goal to have, or just that you've done all these things as being a cunning businessman, I would say. I guess he could have left those places around and tried to do it on his own, but he had a game plan where he was going to try and get the best talents that he could from wherever and bring them here and have like the biggest company and promotion in history and go global with it. And he bet on himself in many ways. So I think there are some people that did respect that savvy businessman and that drive and that goal and that aspiration to be a number one global company, because that was Vince's game plan right from day one.
In the documentary, he says that Ted Turner was doing things the wrong way because he wanted to kill WWE, and he said that he never wanted to kill his competition. He just wanted to compete.
See, now, that's a statement I think is
nobody agrees with that. Vince McMahon, multiple times in the documentary, Vince McMahon completely Vince McMahon said I couldn't believe they were trying to take us out of business. They stole all the wrestlers I created. They were taking all the guys I created, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, that's what you did. Hulk Hogan was already doing some of the things he was doing when you brought him in. So many people were already doing things, and Vince grabbed them. Vince did that Vince created superstars as well, but he brought in a lot of people who already had characters and stole a lot of ideas that have already been done. So Vince did that and then complained about it on the documentary. And now here Vince is talking about, oh, they're trying to put me out of business. I wasn't trying to do that. It's like, yeah, you were. You went into the territories to put everybody and squash them. In fact, Vince McMahon himself always says, he's like, you got to go in, you got to be cutthroat. You just got to take, it is what it is, And then he says it isn't what it is. So it's like, it's weird. When it comes to him, he does have this sort of weird, double standard, Vince McMahon there, which is interesting.
It's hypocritical.
Would that be Matt Fiction?
I would say that's Matt Fiction for sure, because it's one of those things. He had regardless of if his goal was not to kill these territories. If you take away the top performers in these territories that are the biggest ticket sellers and the biggest merch movers and whatever else, you're obviously going to do major damage to the territory, and he obviously knows that. Once again, that's a hypocritical statement. I could understand if he said Ted Turner was doing business the wrong way, he wanted to take us out of business, but I kind of get that, because I wanted to do that at one point too. I would have almost at least been honest about it,
I totally agree with you, because I think a lot of people can see through that, and that has been one of the
they can. Yeah,
that's been one of the common criticisms of the documentary. It's just been a lot of the hypocrisy that Vince seemingly displays in it, in how he talked. And Dave literally, just as I said that word, says the doc makes it clear the hypocrisy. Crazy watching him squirm on that, and that's when we hear about the three different brains of Vince. Now, I think that's the big question that I'll ask you at the end of this podcast too.
Smart me up on the three different brains. I do want to hear about that.
If Dave would like to go into that, I don't want to go too far into spoilers for those who haven't watched it yet, but and Matt, you and I can react accordingly to it, of course.
Sure.
Come on, everyone's watched it. Everyone's watched it. We've all seen it.
In some ways, I don't think it would be worth his time to throw it out there if he didn't believe it. I just feel like it was pretty legit. I feel like he said that because I don't think he would have said it for any other reason, because he just doesn't care. If he thinks someone's terrible, he just isn't going to say anything to him except don't bring them back. He was very straightforward when it came to that. If he liked something, he liked it, and if he didn't, he wasn't afraid to let it be known. And he went off on people all the time.
Well, I asked because it's like dangling the keys to the car in front of the teenager.
Let's see. Where's the part I wanted?
And what you were doing to really break through and grab that brass ring.
Was Vince McMahon someone who could be convinced of something?
I mean, in some of the things we had tried to pitch him, whether it is like me and MVP, because we interacted with him a little bit, or me on some of the things, even when I was dealing with me and Adam. I mean, you could present him with ideas, but I do think at the end of the day, he might listen to your idea. He would absorb the idea, but at the end of the day, if he had something in the back of his mind that he wanted to do, that is what was going to be done. They always said this too. It was real famous that if you can somehow give your idea to Vince and make him think he came up with the idea, you have a lot better chance of getting the idea
salesman
to happen.
That's such a salesman thing. You have to outsales the salesman, Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? That's crazy. You gotta tell Vince, like, Vince, like, you know what I mean, Vince, like you've had this idea before, but so I think that might work where, like, what if Terry Reynolds was mad at me because maybe something happened with the two of us on the side, like something, very personal. And you kind of like lead Vince McMahon. Then Vince goes, so maybe she could be pregnant with your kid. And then you're like, yeah, oh my God, that's a great idea. Yeah, like that. And then Vince is like, yeah, I like that. It's like you got to lead him like that. That's funny.
And that was very true. People would try and.
But in sales, if you can make it the client's idea or the customer's idea, that's the chances of them buying it go way up. You get them to say the words. Oh yeah, you know what? You tell them, like, yeah, man, you want this? You like this house? Well, the other great thing about it is if a house had like a warranty, everything on the windows were all warranted, if they were all like that, that would be good. And then the person goes like, yeah, I wonder if there is a warranty on the windows in this house. Well, I can find out. Actually, let me see. Hold on, actually, you know what? These windows are all warranted. They're guaranteed for 30 years and they're brand new. So yeah, great call. Like they're that's not really a good example, but you know what I mean? Like, or you're buying something, like you're buying a car and you're like, it's really, yeah, you like luxury and everything. Okay, so we're looking for this model because it's got more luxurious maybe. And I mean, what's something that you really like in the car that you really, an amenity that you want to have, that you already have, or that you would like to have? And then the customer's like, well, I really always wanted to have heated and ventilated seats. And then you go, yeah, that's right. That'd be great. So you need the big package. You need the super package because that actually carries the ventilated and heating seats. Great idea. Okay, so I see what you're saying. So I see you want that. All right. And now it's like you're selling them more. And it's like you made it their idea. They're the ones that told you, hey, I want this. I want the ventilated seats. I want the heated seats. I want this to happen. I want that to happen. Like, and then you're like, do you like the idea of a protection plan or no? You don't care about that sort of thing. And the customer says, no, I mean, like I would hope to be protected if I were to buy it. And, oh yeah, if you were to buy it, would you want it protected or no? You don't need that. No, I think I'd want it protected. Yeah, great idea. I would do that too. In fact, most customers do that. It's like kind of their idea. They're the ones saying it. You're getting them to say it. That's sort of what Vince seems to be like here, based on what Matt Hardy's saying.
Do things in a way to make it seem like Vince gave them the idea and it was his idea. If you do that, you'd have a better chance of like making it happen.
Can you provide me an example of that, whether it's a specific example or what the template for something like that might look like or sound like?
I almost feel like, once again, this is a template, not even a specific example.
Yeah, no,
I've heard many people say, like if there was a deal, say like, I have this program with MVP, and I mean, I don't know, maybe we even did this here because we were the ones that convinced him to let us be tag team champions to distract me from going after the US title and MVP. That was the whole purpose behind it, right? And say if we go to him and said, you know what, we've been thinking, Vince, like there should be some competitiveness in this. I know you said that we should have a competitive rivalry, like we're two competitors, right? Who want to prove to each other that we're the better man in this competition. Like, what if MVP was brilliant, as you said, and we use that competitiveness that is yours, and MVP says, Matt, you know what we should do? We are both so good together. We're so competitive against one another. That's what Vince said. It's a competitive relationship. We're so competitive against one another. We should have a tag match for the world titles, for the world tag team titles. And if we can win them, then we could see who the captain is. And that's a way we could compete, competitiveness. That's, the thing that you pushed out on us. So we were thinking, what if we did that? But really MVP's motivation was to distract me from going after the US title and like focus on the world tag team titles the whole while, because, you said we're super competitive, and that is a competitive way. He's trying to manipulate me to make me not chasing for the US title anymore. And it comes down to competitiveness at the end of the day. He's like, well, I did bring up being competitive is how I want to see this program go. So that's not a bad idea. Let me think on that a little bit and I'll get back to you. But similar to that.
That's so fascinating, and that's the closest I feel like I've ever been in a creative meeting with Vince McMahon right there. That's wild. But that applies to so many. I mean, even Dave just said this too in the chat. Like, it's great insight. It applies to so many jobs. Your listeners, every sales job he's ever had the same dangling the carrot or cutthroat aspects that happen on a daily basis. But there's been times where I've had higher ups that they'll suggest something. I'll be like, see, I'm doing exactly what you said, even though I may not have been integrating at all what they said they wanted to see. But you're trying to appease while also integrate part of your personal self into whatever that may be. That's so fascinating. So what was the consensus then, I guess, on creative from talent over the years you were there? How did that change over the years? So like Vince's creative mind in 1997, 1998, 1999 when you guys are there versus Vince's creative mind in 2019 when you leave.
Vince was he was very much cut off from, he wasn't as open as he was then. Even going back to like when me and MVP worked so much, like you had to literally request a meeting with Vince, and then you had to get in line. It was so hard. It was so very hard to get access to them in 2019. So it was very different. I think whenever he was doing the thing, because he really felt like, I am the piece of shit billionaire, millionaire, and Stone Cold is the common man, and there's a lot of people that can relate to this, because like your boss gives you hell, and then all you want to do is like beat up your boss. You want to give him a Stone Cold stun or whatever. And whenever that happened and they followed through that angle, I mean, that is one of the things that led to business getting so white hot at that time during the Attitude Era, right? I feel like he was very much on the pulse, and he felt he had a much better feeling of the audience and what was current in pop culture and society and whatnot. And I just feel like, you fast forward 20 years to 2019, he just doesn't have that same connection that he did in the late 90s and early 2000s. That's what it seems like from speaking to him. There were times where he still had ideas that ended up sounding kind of crazy, but they would still work sometimes. I know there were times where I talked to him with me and Bray, and he kept saying like, you guys can be something so special. You can be something special, but with what you're doing, you have to really stand out, and you have to be a certain way, and you have to carry a certain dynamic with these personas you have and whatnot. And he never went like into specifics of what it was, but then like at the end of the day, we both thought we shouldn't be wrestling on TV. Like for 4 or 5 weeks straight, we had like matches that we won in like 3 or 4 minutes on TV. And I'm like, I don't think this is doing anything for us. It's not doing anything for our opponents. Like, we're much better if we have some remote vignettes and we tell stories or whatever else, and there's someone who like wants a shot at these titles, and then eventually we build this big match by whatever happens. You get heat on us some way or whatnot, but he kept saying like, we need to be a certain way. These characters, this can be huge if it's done right. But then he ended up putting us out there too, very gimmicky characters who need vignettes and remote location shootings and stuff to stay unique. I feel just in 4-minute matches where we're just beating up somebody pretty quick and hitting our finish and winning. And I don't think that's doing anything for anyone. I just feel like later on towards the end of the 2010s, he just wasn't as connected to what was current in culture and society.
Did that also translate to the very chemical makeup of pro wrestling? Like, let's go back here. Vince is responsible for Hulkamania, right? He builds the biggest babyface in the history of the industry with Hulkamania in one very specific mold. The Attitude Era rolls around. Stone Cold Steve Austin becomes a big babyface. The Rock becomes a big babyface. The Undertaker, even Triple H is a babyface run, etc.
Right.
After that, we have a period of time where John Cena is your babyface, and while other people come in the periphery, no one comes even close, and he's a career-long babyface, and it has some ramifications. Like, was there any sense from anyone in the locker room that maybe some of that had become antiquated in terms of actually putting together the hierarchy of the promotion as far as performers are concerned?
I mean, once again, I think a lot of the reason John Cena too, we've had the Attitude Era. Information is out there. We've kind of exposed to the people who are interested to know how the business works to a degree. And with John Cena, the audience had changed a lot because they're much smarter to the product now. They're much more intellectual and educated audience. And it was one of those things. They still kind of did the same formula where they kept him babyface on and on and on. And that's almost another example. Like, I get why he sold so much merch. He didn't want to do it and turn him heel, but I think you do turn that person heel, and you can have something really special and successful there for a while. And then he could ultimately end up being babyface again. Perfect example of that is Roman Reigns nowadays.
Well, and you just have to build different babyfaces. Like your boy Jey Uso, who I was going to ask you about,
right,
winning the Intercontinental Championship. there are right now at any moment in WWE like 7 different baby faces that crowd is going to go nuts for in that position, because WWE has done a really good job at building different baby faces and letting them lead the promotion. And it's just so fascinating to me that Vince did such a poor job at building baby faces during the last 15 years of his career, because the entire success of WWE is built on how well Hulk Hogan was positioned as a babyface.
But it was also too, it's a big change in crowd at that time. I mean, he was very much on the pulse of how the crowd was when Hulkamania was around, when kayfabe was somewhat still alive, and he was a through and through babyface, and they just wanted to see this guy, get beat up and feel sorry for him. And then eventually the guy hits their finish, and then he kicks out and he hulks up and he does this whole deal. I mean, he had a winning formula, but like you can't do that, past the Attitude Era in the same way. I mean, the crowd's changed, society's changed.
That doesn't mean you can't book baby faces.
I mean, no, you can still book baby faces, but it has to be done differently. You can't just use that standard Hulk Hogan formula.
So where do you think that stubbornness came from?
Oh, he's a stubborn guy. I mean, I think, that might be something he would be transparent about. I think he is a very stubborn guy. I think he would openly admit he's a stubborn guy. I wonder if he says that at all in the Netflix documentary. Can anybody let me know if he admitted to being a stubborn guy? Because I have heard that from him. Well, I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to stuff too.
So there's more there, and I'm going to clip the parts that I really wanted to get to talk about. I don't think I really found the clip there. I was listening, waiting for the part, and I don't think I ever heard the clip or the thing that I wanted to hear. So that, whatever. I'll figure that off air. Figure that out off air. But thank you guys for joining me tonight, I suppose, for this this talk here that we had about the MJF stuff with Happy Gilmore, about the Tony Atlas stuff on the Vince DVD, and SmackDown was all right. It was okay tonight. And I will be live Saturday night, tomorrow night, I believe, for Monetize This. So join us. Maybe Dork Knight will show up and call somebody a colored person, like he did a couple weeks ago. What the fuck? That clip is still so just whacked out to me. Go listen to that clip. Netflix didn't ask Vince about Stand Back. I mean, Netflix dropped they could have done so much more with this documentary, bro. They could have they just could have gone in a million directions. They could have done a million things with it. They could have tightened it up in some ways. They could have done a lot of things. And in the end, it was fairly entertaining and nice and whatever, but it's nothing I didn't know. It's nothing most people didn't know. So, but some of it was stuff that some people didn't know, and some of it was stuff that, just is being rehashed. I mean, the biggest thing that we didn't know was Tony Atlas saying, that we abused all the women. Where is it? Here it is. We abused the hell out of women. All of us did. They were like a toy for us. They were like a toy for us. That is probably one of the most fucked up things that was said, and nobody even talking about it, really. How is that not being talked about more? The hell? And the pecker grabbing. But everybody kind of knew about it, So, what are you gonna do? I'm Joe Cronin. I hope you click the like button on the way out. We're close to 100 likes. Very close. So close. Very close. Getting closer. Jennifer Muppet Baby gifted 1 membership, and Justin Smith got it. Before I go, look at this. Look at who met with Zelensky today. Jennifer Muppet Baby, thank you for that $1 gift. Thank you, Jennifer. Listen to this, guys. Look at this. Jennifer Muppet Baby. Thank you, Jennifer.
Come on out, you
Who's it gonna
rapist!
be? Who's coming out that elevator? Oh, wait a second! What? My goodness, it's Donald Trump, and he's walking! He's walking with Zelensky! They said this was impossible! These two men, these two presidents have come together! This is absolutely incredible! Joe, how can you actually like this? Clearly, this man is playing both sides. I don't think so at all. Just yesterday, this man was signing missiles with the Biden and Kamala Harris and warmonger administration. Now he's standing with Donald Trump. Well, it's what I'm saying, Joe. This guy's obviously playing both sides. If Kamala wins presidency, he's ready to accept America's weapons and missiles. And of course, if Donald Trump were to win, he's willing to accept Donald Trump's negotiation skills. He's playing both sides like a coward, Joe. I don't think so at all. I think that's ridiculous. I think he's standing tall with Donald Trump. And he's ready to resolve this thing in a peaceful way. Trump is solving more problems. He's not even the damn president. Look at the smile on Zelensky. Hey, he's touched people. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Something about the two of them walking out there like it was like a Monday Night Raw or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, pretty funny. Regardless of what you think, I like that they both. I like that he's meeting with everybody. Like, please, anybody help? I need help from everybody. I mean, that's a smart thing to meet with everybody. You know, in case whoever wins. You know, he's gonna have to be friends with whoever wins. He needs help. Regardless. So it's not a bad idea by him to meet with everybody, you know, to be honest. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow night for Monetize This. Thank you for being here on a Friday. Don't do a lot of Friday shows anymore, but, you know, why do them? See you tomorrow night. Know what I love? I also love incest.